Hey there, you guys. Today on Real Estate Divas, we're going to be talking about the most ethical way you can deal with multiple offers. Multiple offers are everywhere, and we're going to talk about it, what you need to do, and the guidelines to stick to right after this. Welcome back, you guys, to Real Estate Divas. I'm Jer'Leigh Thompson with Texel Real Estate and Real Estate Reformation.
And I'm Kristin Gerst with Capricorn Mortgage. And we're talking about multiple offers, which are everywhere.
Everywhere. Multiple offers.
Which it's a beautiful word.
It is. Like that one just makes everybody happy. Makes the seller happy. Well, I'd say everybody happy. It doesn't make the buyer happy. That's kind of what we're talking about. I mean, there's a couple of different ways to handle this and not handle this. And I see a lot of the bad ways to handle it. You know, it's not one. I think people get so excited. They want more offers and more offers. If you're the seller, you're like, well, let's just wait and get some more offers in. Maybe there's going to be something that's so like over the top and phenomenal that, you know, if we just wait another week.
How long should you wait? A day, 2 days?
Literally with the way the market is right now. And granted, this doesn't translate to every market, obviously. I mean, you and I have been in markets where multiple offers is just not a thing. 6 months later, you're like, what? Where is the offer? But that's what we're living in right now, is a lot of multiple offers. And I tell every single one of my clients whenever I'm dealing with multiple offers or when we're going to list something, all right, if we don't have multiple offers within 7 days, we're not priced right. That's my number one, you know.
And I think that's pretty good advice right now.
Well, because, I mean, that's a fact, because literally the moment things hit the market, everybody's swarming. Like if it's in your price range and the pictures are decent, they're swarming. Even if the pictures aren't decent, you know, even if all you've got is a photo of the front lawn, all of a sudden people are lining up.
Well, the rule of thumb I got was, in my training, my history is 21 days or 21 offers. So if you got 21 offers, then okay, you got to pick one. But if it took 21 days, you got to pick whatever. But you don't want to go past that.
Well, 21 days is too long in this market.
In this market.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like if it's either 21 days or 21 offers.
But it also
and
depends
21,
on...
I feel like 21 offers is too much, because most of these are going to end up being about the same. There's not going to be a huge variation.
Full price offer, conventional financing. Full price offer, conventional financing.
$5,000 over, $10,000 over. And then every once in a while, I mean, when offers start coming in, I mean, I think that what you just mentioned, definitely in a normal market, totally adhere to that advice. But in this one, like within 7 days, if you're not having offers coming in and you're getting all of these visits, you know, showings, something's up, something's not right. But the moment we start getting multiple offers, that's not the time to discuss what the plan is with your seller, right? You want to discuss this prior to, like, what are your expectations? Once we start getting multiple offers, what do we want to do? How long do you want to go? What is your expectation? Do you want to do an open house after you already have 15 offers? Is there a point, you know?
Well, and I wouldn't see a point to that.
No, I don't see a point either, but a lot of sellers feel like you're not working hard enough for your money if you're not doing an open house. So there's that perception as well, right? So it's definitely
well, we
a
all know
conversation.
realtors don't do anything anyway.
Ryan
God.
gets punched later for that one. Yeah.
Brokers
We're like,
do everything.
Yeah.
Well, and of course it also depends on the type. I mean, because,
Yeah.
you know, we've been working on selling my condo for...
Well, and condos are different in the DFW area.
Right.
You know, because it's not as prevalent as for a homestead as just a single family home.
Single family home, yeah.
Whereas if we were in LA, San Francisco,
New
New York, condos are all that's getting sold.
Right.
You know, so it's just different. I think it's just mainly people not really, especially if you're from Texas, where all we have is tons of land, You know, you're
Tons of places to build. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have that discussion prior to, have that discussion with your seller and figure out what their expectations are. Is 15 offers going to be enough for you to cut the cord and go, okay, best and final? You know? Or are you trying to wait for that fit? Do you want bragging rights that I got 50 offers? You know, because there is that out there as well.
I really had no idea that you all were dealing with clients like this.
Yes. Yes, it's a real thing. And so it's a conversation that realtors need to have with their sellers, and sellers need to understand that it's not always in your best interest. You know, your best offer may walk away because you decided you wanted 50 offers and left it on the market and wouldn't give answers for a week.
I still find that your best offer is usually your first offer.
It's usually the first couple.
Right.
You know, and then after that, they look a lot the same.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna. You just can't have that many variations off of 15 offers. Here's the asking price. Nobody's really undercutting in this market. I mean,
no, everybody's starting pretty much at the asking price.
Right.
Although I did just put in an offer for a client of mine who's doing a double sell and buy, and we went under. I was like, well, this is the first in 3 years that I've had to undercut it. But I mean, the house looks like a dump. So I mean, they want to do a full rehab on it. That's another story.
that's totally different.
But anyway, so yeah, discuss it with your clients. Let them know what the expectations should be and try to rein them in that, yes, while it is cool to have bragging rights of I've got 75 offers on my house because it's so fantastic, you do not want to sit there and let it stay on the market for 3 weeks while you're gathering offers. It's really disrespectful to the buyers that are trying to get into a house.
Absolutely.
That it's already a nightmare.
Why would they even think that 3 weeks would be a good idea? You'd almost think, hey, you need to make a decision here in 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing. So then the next step is, all right, don't collect for weeks. Let's put a timeline on it. Once we have collected, then what's the timeline? You've got 24 hours, 48 hours, usually on a weekend. If we start getting offers, you know, you try to list by the end of the week or towards the end of the week and you get all these offers over the weekend. You know, if we're waiting for the following weekend or we're waiting towards the end of the week and we've gotten several offers, I don't want to really wait more than 48 hours.
Well,
72 tops when you're gathering offers, but that's a lot.
but realtors also need to start from a place of authority.
Absolutely.
And I mean, they were hired to do a job, which is sell the house. They can look at the offers and go, this one's the best one. This is the one we should be going with. Yes, the agent is legally required to bring all offers to their client, but at the same time, hey, stack those. Go, yeah, you got 5 offers. This is the one you need to take.
This is the best one right now. Yeah.
Would you like to read through it?
I'm going to send it to you because legally I need to show that to you. But I mean, I sent you one that was absolute trash and I was like, you're not going to want this. But they sent it to me. I'm sending it to you and we'll stay on the market until we get the right one.
I don't even remember that one. I'm like, okay.
You're like, take your word for it, delete.
I'm like, I don't even know that I opened it. I'm like, okay, it's crap. Cool.
But I do immediately, like once you got those offers and you've agreed with your client, like this is the timeline. This is how long we're going to give everybody to do their best and final. You gather those offers. You make sure that everybody that's given you an offer knows that we're calling for best and final and what the deadline is. And then put it on the MLS so everybody that hasn't seen it yet knows as well. There's nothing more infuriating
Then wasting somebody's time or not knowing that it's already...
Yeah, you know, I submitted an offer and you called for highest and best or best and final, whatever you want to call it. And
I didn't know.
You didn't give me any notification that there were even multiple offers.
Right.
You know, I'm just waiting on an answer for my clients. I'm just following up. Oh, I didn't tell you there was best and final due by 10 o'clock last night. We took a different offer. What? Come on, people. You know, it's just being considerate, you know.
Yeah, no, I do know. But that should translate to like every industry and any time that you're wasting.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a high emotion, transaction. So these buyers that are putting those offers in, that's the reason to be respectful, because their emotions are super high, or in their mind they've already moved in. They've already got that whole living room planned and their master bedroom decorated. Picked out paint colors and all, only to find out a week later that you went with somebody else. So just try to be considerate. Let everybody know. That's a communication.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
How many times have we said that? The other key factors are not always price. So.
And they shouldn't be, because how they are financing it, do they even have a legitimate plan? What's that pre-qual letter look like?
Exactly.
Because I've got multiple sources on getting pre-qual letters that are not actually pre-qual letters.
Yeah, they're not legitimate. But also, what kind of financing?
I can
are they
write you
going
one
with?
if you need one.
Yeah. You got a letterhead?
Sure.
I got a letterhead. I can give you a pre-qual.
Yeah.
Harper Belmont Financing. Harper Belmont Financial.
With a Google Voice number that I know how to answer that phone.
I'll get a website up on Squarespace within
That's
30
right.
minutes.
But you want to look at other things. A lot of people get hung up on the price. One thing that really started happening is at the beginning of this multiple offer situation was the overbidding. But the overbidding and your FHA, well, then it's not worth the paper it's written on. If you're overbidding by $30,000 and you're going FHA and you can't come out of pocket if it doesn't appraise, well, then it's pointless. Like, that number means almost nothing.
That is good to know, and I don't think a lot of people would know that as, and especially for ones that are, for sale by owner. Would they know that if somebody came in?
No, they might just look at, oh my gosh, $30,000 over
my
asking? I'll take yours. And then it doesn't appraise.
And then they lost out on somebody who might have been all cash, but just $5,000 or $10,000 over.
Exactly. And basically right now, there is an addendum that we've gone over on one of the other shows where you waive your rights to an appraisal. But you've got to have some cash in order to do that.
Right.
You can't be, this isn't only putting down 3.5% and waiving an appraisal.
Right.
You've got to have some cash in the bank. So you need to know about what's the financing options? What's their timeline? Like, do you live there? Do you need time?
Right.
There's other issues out there that you might want to think about if you need a lease back, or if you haven't found a house to move into, but you wanted to sell your house first. Like, what does that look like? Who's willing to work with you on that?
I would almost think in this market you need to do it backwards.
It is. It really is. I've had to explain that to more people.
You need just go find a house first.
Let's get one under contract first. We'll be able to sell yours in no time. Yeah. And it is backwards, but that's the way that you have to do it now.
Right.
Unless you do something like what we talked about, on one of our other episodes, like the cashback offers and stuff.
Yes, no, absolutely.
But yeah, you would definitely want to know if there's a timeline there that you need to work with. There's also closing costs. Am I paying for it as the buyer, or am I asking the seller to pay for all that?
And all of that stuff evens out.
And it can definitely add up.
So let's say that you've got this property on the market the first day, and within 24 hours you get 3 to 5 offers. Are you basically done?
Well,
you can let some others roll in, and maybe something's awesome.
I would say so. As far as 3 to 5 offers first day, what day of the week did you list it? If you're listing it over a weekend, let's say we listed it on Thursday and we've got 3 to 5 offers by Friday, I'm probably going to leave it on the market till Sunday.
Right, absolutely.
And then we're calling for highest and best by whatever time on Sunday, and then we'll take those offers and take a look, just to make sure that we're getting as many as possible. If I listed it midweek, then we're probably going to wait till the weekend. We definitely want more traffic unless there's one that comes through all cash, appraisal waiver, and it's, so much over, like you get all the bells and whistles and it's over asking price. Well, then I'd look at my client and go, you're never going to see anything better than this.
Take it.
We're going with this.
Right.
Do not spook them and make them move on. Because you can still do that in this market.
Uh-huh.
If they come to you with like just a freaking stellar offer and you're still like,
I don't
we're
know.
looking, we're going to take our time, then you may lose out.
Yeah, because think about it. It's like already there's a mentality of like, man, I'm making an offer because I want this house. And if somebody's like, it's just psychology. Like if I dress up and I'm like, and I'm working out and I do my hair and I shave and I get all the, and I'm like, Jer'Leigh, you want to go out to dinner? And I'm putting my best foot forward and you're like, no, let me think about it. I'd be like, well I don't want to take you out anyway.
I don't want to take you anyway.
I mean, that's kind of, you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
The other thing to remember is that people are
I'm bad at
people are also impetuous, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people are like, I need this house now. And if you don't really get that ball rolling with them, they're going to go on and still go see other houses because they know
absolutely.
they need to. They're like, okay, well, no, now I'm in love with this house.
Yep.
Forget about that house.
Yep.
So you want them to stop looking as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in this market, they typically don't because they know they're putting in an offer and we may or may not get it. So let's keep on looking.
Right. We'll put in 10 offers and we'll take the one that we actually want.
Yeah, exactly. So keep that in mind. If you see a stellar offer and it's phenomenal, then just go with it. Just forget it.
Well, and here I was thinking that it was just super easy, for all the realtors on the side of the listings. Oh, you get a listing, they're going to make money. Whereas, for all of those poor realtors who are not getting listings, they're just showing buyers
It's a nightmare.
30, 40 properties
Yeah.
for their 3%.
For their 30, 40 properties and writing how many contracts for that 3%. It's the buyer's agents are working hard right now. I've actually had to be a buyer's agent several times this year, which is not typically what I do.
Not your norm.
But I have had to do it because I have certain clients that these are my long-term clients and I'm selling their house. Well, I'm sure as heck going to make sure they get into, I'm going to take care of them through the whole transaction. And it stinks. It stinks being on the other side of that. It's not any fun. So I try to be as considerate as I can to the other side.
Well, and that's so important. And just being considerate of other people's time
efforts
in anything you do and anything you come in contact with. I try and I strive for that.
It's important.
And we're not always perfect.
No, but niceties are important. Manners are important.
Trying to not waste other people's time.
Absolutely. The other thing.
Says the people that are
Hey,
always late to the studio.
Nobody can hear that.
And Ryan, you're right. Ryan, you're so right.
I apologize.
I was so late today, and I'm so sorry.
Okay, the camera is on Kristin. Apologize.
I'm so sorry, Ryan.
Okay, Jer'Leigh, your turn.
Oh my gosh, you are going to loop this. This is going to be like, you're going to cut this out and like make it its own little memes.
That's not a very good apology. Like Kristin looked genuine. Like I saw the tears in Kristin's eyes. Where's your? I need an apology.
Oh my God! Did you see that? Could you literally see the F word coming through her brain?
No.
Went across her eyes.
Ryan, I'm incredibly sorry. I did not mean to waste your time.
And back to the show.
And back to the show.
I would like to make one point. Ryan,
Tip of the day.
You got a lot of work
Ryan.
going on. I hope you made use of your extra time today, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So besides, being respectful of other people's time and efforts, once you are aware of what your seller really wants out of the transaction, like what are the most important things? Obviously price, but then the timeline, or all the extra fees. I don't want to do any work on the house. This is an as-is property. Like I want a offer that gives me that. So you're going to present those offers, all the offers, to your client, but you're probably going to go, these three are the best. Here's a spreadsheet of what each one offers and why I like these three best.
So, and we've talked about this, and right now we're in a really unusual market, and it's not going to stay this way forever. And I think everybody knows this; it'll settle down at some point. You know, in the past, I have never said that we're in a multiple offer situation, and I think everybody just assumes that it's a multiple offer situation now.
Everybody does. And we talked about this before the show, because in the past, whenever it wasn't crazy, if I got multiple offers, I was a little hesitant to say it, because more times than not, the moment I said multiple offer situation, we need best and final, two people would walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'm stuck with one offer and nobody's bidding. They're like, I don't want to compete. I'm moving on.
I told you as a buyer, I'd be like, this has got a multiple offer situation. It's been sitting here for 2 or 3 weeks, and this is multiple offers. I would just pull my offer. Cool, good luck with that. I'd pull it, and then I'd look back at it a week later, and I'm like, haha, still hasn't sold.
Yep.
I'm like,
I mean, sometimes it was a ruse, but a lot of times whenever I did, not all, a lot of times, the only time I ever did it was when it actually was going on.
Legitimately was, but you're not every realtor out there.
Yeah, I don't, but I did it, and I was always hesitant, but you do what your seller asks you to do, and then we would lose offer, and then I'd have to make those phone calls. Hey, you want to come back? We lost all our offers. Hey, would you? Well, that puts you in a terrible negotiation seat.
Right.
Anyway. But now it's totally different.
But when I'm wholesaling real estate, I've always just said, first one to me with a cashier's check gets it.
Yep.
And best day of that, I had Net Worth and New Western in a foot race.
Nice.
Getting me a check.
An offer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most wholesalers these days, they do the same thing. It's the first and final, or first come, first serve.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so once you tell everybody best and final, and you get those final offers, you present those, show make it easy for your client. Your client doesn't always know what to look for as a seller. And just line those things up, the apples and oranges, and these are how these are different, depending on what you want. You may choose one over the other. One thing that I just learned about and that just became available is Showing Time, which is our service that shows the property, makes the appointments for the properties. So you sign up, they take the calls, they make the appointments. They now offer a service for $15 a month where you can upload every offer you get into their system, and it automatically creates a spreadsheet that you can present to your seller. So it makes it super simple. Whereas as a selling agent, you might sit there for an hour collecting the data, comparing, putting it, so that you can present it in a way to your seller. So that's a service out there now. Everything's just getting more like at your fingertips, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But after that, she's like, yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
Showing Time, $15.
Why not?
I
thought you were gonna. I'm pausing because I thought you were gonna say something.
Oh, he's just laughing at the two of
I'm
us.
laughing because it's like
I'm trying not to sneeze right now.
Oh, that explains it. Because when have you ever known Kristin not to talk?
Yeah,
I'm trying not to sneeze, and I'm going,
yeah, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can sneeze.
But now it's at the point where I've stifled it, and now it's not coming. So, all right.
I'm
just trying to keep my composure.
Yeah. But once the sellers have sat there and gone through the properties or gone through the contracts and decided which one they're going to take, let everybody know. Let them know how long you're going to take to make that decision, what that timeline is going to look like after the deadline, because there's nothing worse than waiting 3 days after the deadline going, it can't be this difficult.
All right, so here's my question. Are you allowed to give any specifics on the contract of how the winner's doing right now?
So it's not considered fair game. It's not considered what's the right word for it? It's just not considered playing the game right if you give that information up. Like saying, yeah, our highest bid right now is $255,000. You can beat that, then you win. That's not typically what people do. Most agents think that it's completely unethical to give the dollar amount. It's actually not against the realtor's code of ethics, like what we are supposed to abide by.
So it's not against the rules, but
it's not against.
It's kind of shady AF, isn't it?
It's kind of shady. It's kind of shady unless you're letting everybody know. If you're letting everybody know, hey, our highest bid right now is $255,000. Take your best shot.
I'm sorry. You know what? I'm not even going to believe something like that unless they present a contract with it, and they could have just typed that up themselves.
Exactly. So you don't know, and there obviously is going to be some mistrust there just because you represent the seller. You're trying to get the best deal for the seller. Are you trying to just get the bidding war even further up? But I know when I learned that it wasn't against the code of ethics, I was a little surprised.
Yeah, it just seems shady.
Yeah.
I hope people don't do it, but...
People do it. People do it. But yet, more often than not, you've got realtors out there that say that this is not, I can't do that. It's against code of ethics. Because most realtors that I know think that it is against code of ethics.
Yeah, but...
Which is not a bad mistake to make, in my opinion. If that's your mistake in real estate, is that you think that is a part of the code of ethics, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Then once the decision has been made and the contract's executed, that's key, is once everybody signed on it, it's been executed, that's when you let everybody know you've accepted an offer, not when you've accepted an offer. Because if you accept the offer and
then they walk.
Exactly.
So yeah, you want to wait until everything's executed. On the same side, because the buyers are having such a hard time getting a property, if they put in 10 offers in a weekend, they just go, hey, we're going to cast a wide net. I'm done. I want to get a house this week.
Yep.
And they get 3 accepted. They really only have to sign and execute 1 with option money, correct?
No. So that's something that you need to be aware of. I know it's not against the rules whenever you're doing multiple offer situations and you're dealing with buyers that are like, okay, I'm in town, I'm putting out 4 offers. Well, if they get a yes on all 4 offers, you're presenting contracts that already have your buyer's signature. They've already agreed to that contract.
Wow.
So if the seller signs and executes that contract, then now that buyer is responsible for the option fee and earnest money to be delivered. Now they can back out immediately.
Right.
But or they can back out and, somebody could come after them if they execute it and come after them for the earnest and option. Not really the earnest, but at least
but
the
option money. So they're $100.
They have the obligation to deliver that option fee. So every single one of them was a $300 option fee, then...
Is that what you're seeing a lot?
Well, it depends on the price of the home. If it's a $300,000 house in Texas, usually
1%.
It's going to be somewhere around there. Yeah.
Okay.
Although if you're trying to win the bidding process, then you usually see a higher option fee. So it's just something that you need to make your buyer aware of, that if you get all 4 signatures, you're responsible for all of those option fees.
Which is not. I mean,
I
would have to imagine in this market that buyers just don't care. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll commit to $1,200 in option fees so that I can get a house.
Yep. Well, and there are some out there, but then there's some that they can't afford that, and then if your realtor doesn't tell you that,
Right.
You
might be a little irritated.
Yeah. So anyway, once it's executed, then you just want to make sure you let everybody know, hey, we made an offer, you're invited to do a backup contract, and then change it on the MLS so everybody else knows as well.
And they stop getting calls.
Yeah. Stop getting calls, stop getting showing requests, all of that business. But then just so just everybody knows, if that buyer, maybe you missed one of the buyers that gave you a contract and you forgot to email or text them, at least they know.
Right.
But I do always offer, if my seller would like a backup offer, then I always offer that to the buyer's
Right.
agents.
Yeah, well, I mean, seriously good. And I think that boils down to agents out there, just do the right thing.
Yeah, do the right thing.
Be decent and understanding of other people's time.
Absolutely. Time, emotions, all of the above.
Right.
The other thing that I warn about as far as sellers go, whenever you're dealing with multiple offers, some sellers would like to negotiate, counter with each one. Let's see if we can get them a little bit higher, them a little bit higher. That's not okay. Whereas
not
the
okay?
buyers, they can put in multiple offers, but they're paying a fee. What ends up happening with the sellers, if they try to negotiate one-on-one and counter several different offers, well, you may have a couple of people accept your counter.
Right.
Now you've essentially sold your home to two different people.
Yeah.
So, not okay.
But, the ink's not dry. But
The ink's not dry, but that is not ethical.
right.
And that's what we're talking about, the ethical way to deal with multiple offer situations. But that's kind of the gist of it, from A to Z of what you go through whenever you're dealing with a multiple offer situation. To me, most of it's common sense, but you'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
How many agents out there are lacking that?
Yeah, it's the agents, and then it's also, people
It's
who are
also the
not in the business of selling homes.
Well, and that's why realtors really do need to take a strong hand with some of their buyers.
Yeah, you need to.
And their buyers and sellers.
Buyers
Just
and
go, we're not
sellers.
doing it this way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you guys, be courteous, be ethical, and be respectful of everybody's time. And it'll be a much more pleasant world out there with this multiple offer situation. If y'all have any stories to share or y'all'd like to drop some comments, please do. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Real
Please
Estate
subscribe.
Divas.
Please subscribe.
My name is Jer'Leigh Thompson with Texel Real Estate and Real Estate Reformation.
And I'm Kristin Gerst with Capricorn Mortgage Investments. Send me your owner finance mortgage notes to buy. I'm looking for a ton of them.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye, you guys.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.